Before Jenna Ortega played Wednesday Addams in Tim Burton's 2022 hit Wednesday, the character already had a long, spooky history filled with other unforgettable versions. The Addams Family, originally created by cartoonist Charles Addams, started as a comic strip and has been charming and creeping out audiences since the 1960s. Over the years, Wednesday has gone through a lot of changes, but one thing stayed the same. People can't get enough of her weird, gothic vibe. Her parents, Morticia and Gomez, chose her name because of an old nursery rhyme that says, "Wednesday's child is full of woe." Fitting, right? Even her favourite doll is a headless version of Marie Antoinette. Just to keep things extra dark. But which version is the best? Let's count them down, why don't we? In the early 70s, the first cartoon version of the Addams Family hit TV screens. Cindy Henderson voiced Wednesday in this animated series, which tried to keep things spooky but also kid-friendly. Compared to today's shows, the animation was clunky and the laugh tracks felt forced, but it helped bring the Addams Family back into the spotlight. In this version, the family drove around in a wild, tricked-out motorhome, kind of like Scooby-Doo's gang. In fact, they even did a crossover episode with Scooby-Doo, but for Wednesday, things were a bit off. She wore a pink dress and acted super sweet. Pretty much the opposite of what some expect from her. Even her parents seemed disappointed by her sunny personality. Then in the late 90s, 12-year-old Nicole Fugere, apologies if I mispronounced her name, stepped into the shoes of Wednesday in Addams Family Reunion and the series The New Addams Family. She brought Wednesday back to her roots. Calm, sarcastic, and fascinated with all things creepy, Fugere made her love of the strange and dark feel natural. Whether she was messing with a crossbow or talking about Pandora's box like it was a toy. Her performance was so spot on that she was the only actor to appear in both the movie and the series. While the film flopped in theatres, the TV show got better reviews thanks to its nostalgic 1960s style comedy and charm. Earlier in the 90s, The Addams Family, the animated series, also gave us a much softer Wednesday, voiced by Debbie Derryberry, that toned down certain aspects of her character. Instead of a classic black dress, she wore blue with red tights. And instead of showing her love for destruction on screen, she would quietly sneak off to do her mischief in private. Off camera, of course. This Wednesday smiled, cared about her brother Pugsley, and even enjoyed a good family dance. While she still had some clever quips, her behaviour was a lot more gentle. The show was made by Hanna-Barbera, a studio known for family cartoons, so that may explain why they kept things more light-hearted. After years of silence, Wednesday Addams made a dramatic return in animated form, voiced by Chloe Grace Moretz in The Addams Family 2019 and its sequel in 2021. This version brought Wednesday into the modern world, where she balanced her usual love for the strange and spooky with something entirely new, teen rebellion. In the first film, the Addams Family moves to New Jersey, and it doesn't take long for their airy lifestyle to scare the neighbours. But Wednesday, ever the curious misfit, finds herself drawn to something even more terrifying than monsters, normal people. She starts experimenting with more typical behaviour like wearing pink, exploring friendships for the first time, and going to school, which horrifies her mother Morticia. In the second film, Wednesday begins to feel like she doesn't truly belong in the Addams Family. She even suspects she might have been switched at birth, a bold idea considering how strange her relatives are. The movie follows the family on a chaotic road trip across America, giving Wednesday a chance to explore her identity in new ways. With a star-studded cast including Oscar Isaac, Charlize Theron, and Stranger Things' Finn Wolfhard as Pugsley, these films introduced a new generation to Wednesday's gloomy charm while staying true to her roots as a gothic outsider with brains, boldness, and a tendency to question everything. When Jenna Ortega stepped into the role of Wednesday Addams in Netflix's 2022 hit Wednesday, she completely transformed the character for a new era. This wasn't just the gloomy little girl from the past. This Wednesday was a sharp, sarcastic teenager solving murders and dealing with psychic visions, all while refusing to blink during an entire take. Ortega's Wednesday navigates friendship, enemies, crushes, and family secrets with her signature scowl and quick wit. And even though she's older than previous versions, she stays true to what makes the character timeless: her refusal to fit in and her love for all things dark and bizarre. She also brought depth and darkness to the role, giving fans the version of Wednesday they didn't know they needed. Her performance mixes dry humor, deadpan expressions, and emotional complexity, making her both relatable and intimidating. One standout moment that had the internet buzzing was a now-famous dance scene in episode 4, Whoa, What a Night. Jenna choreographed it herself, drawing inspiration from goth legends like Susie Sue and punk rock clubs of the 80s. The show, created by Smallville and Into the Badlands writers Alfred Goh and Miles Miller, with Tim Burton as executive producer, blends supernatural mystery, boarding school drama, and dark comedy. Long before Wednesday was dancing on Netflix or causing chaos in New Jersey, she was stealing scenes in black and white on TV screens across America. Lisa Loring was only 6 years old when she became the very first Wednesday Addams in the original Addams Family series that aired from 1964 to 1966, and despite her young age, she made a huge impression. Loring's Wednesday was sweet-looking but delightfully strange. Her innocent voice paired with lines about spiders, cemeteries, and beheading dolls made her oddly hilarious. She was the perfect contrast to the cheerful, all-American kids usually seen on TV at the time. With her braided pigtails and soft-spoken manner, she delivered dark comedy in a way that made viewers laugh without even trying. The show may have focused more on the adults, especially the dramatic romance between Morticia and Gomez. Lisa Loring's Wednesday, however, still stood out. She was the ultimate daddy's girl, always curious and a little creepy in the most adorable way. In fact, she helped define Wednesday's personality for generations to come. That creepy charm and deadpan delivery started right there, with Lisa's quiet but powerful presence. Without her, there might not even be a Wednesday legacy for future stars to inherit. When Christina Ricci stepped into the role of Wednesday Addams in The Addams Family in 1991, and its sequel Addams Family Values in 1993, she didn't just play Wednesday, she became her. At just 10 years old, Ricci turned the quiet, creepy little girl into a fierce, unforgettable force of nature, and perhaps the best Wednesday of all time. Her performance wasn't just good for a kid actor, it was career-defining and genre-shaping. She delivered her lines with perfect deadpan timing and a chilling confidence that left audiences both laughing and squirming. In fact, Ricci's Wednesday was so iconic that decades later fans demanded her return in Tim Burton's Netflix series, and it worked. She joined the show in a new role as Miss Thornhill, giving longtime viewers a satisfying nod to her legacy. Her performance in the early 90s, directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, turned Wednesday from a side character into the main event. She wasn't just tagging along with the family, she stole every scene she was in, whether she was electrocuting Pugsley for fun or leading a summer camp rebellion in Addams Family Values. Ricci gave Wednesday a sharp edge and dark wit that would define the character for years to come. What also made Ricci's version stand out was the way she balanced cruelty and charisma. She was terrifying, but you couldn't look away. Her speech at camp, where she exposes the dark history behind Thanksgiving, has become one of the most quoted scenes in dark comedy history. Without a doubt, Christina Ricci set the gold standard for Wednesday Addams. Every version that came after, animated, live action, or Netflix famous, has borrowed a little something from her chilling, clever, and commanding take on the ultimate goth girl. With that said, which version of Wednesday did you like the most? Do you agree with the list? Disagree? Let me know in the comments below. See you soon!